You tell them your good news, and they smile. They say congratulations. They say they're happy for you. And somehow, by the end of that conversation, you feel worse than when you started. Not because they said anything obviously wrong, just something felt off. A comment that made your achievement sound smaller. A sudden pivot to their own story. Yeah, but that quietly moved the focus away from you. And you walked away wondering if you imagined it. You didn't. What you experienced has a name, and once you understand it, you will never be confused by it again.
If this has ever happened to you, drop a comment below, because most people avoid understanding themselves. If you're not one of them, subscribe now. Let's get into the human files.
Let's talk about something that almost never gets said out loud. The people most likely to secretly compete with you are not your enemies. They are not strangers. They are the people closest to you, your friends, your family, your colleagues, the people who tell you they support you. Because here's what most people never understand about envy. Envy does not live in the heart of someone who has given up. Envy lives in the heart of someone who still wants what you have, which means the people who secretly compete with you are people who are watching, people who measure themselves against you, and people who are quietly losing that comparison. That is the dark psychology at the root of this. It is not about hatred, it is about proximity and pain. So why does it have to be secret? Why don't they compete with you openly? Why the smile while they undermine you? The answer lies in something called covert social comparison, and it explains everything. What covert social comparison really is. Psychologists have known for decades that human beings are wired to measure themselves against others. It is not a character flaw, it is survival. Our brains are constantly running one quiet question in the background. Am I falling behind? That comparison mechanism was essential when we lived in small groups, and status determined survival. But here's what it looks like today. You get a promotion. Your friend hears about it, and before they have even consciously processed it, their brain has already run the calculation. Where are they? Where am I? Are they ahead of me now? That calculation happens in seconds, and it produces a specific emotional response: discomfort, sometimes shame, sometimes urgency. And if someone doesn't have the self-awareness to recognize that response in themselves, it doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It becomes covert. They still feel the competition. They still feel the urgency to close the gap. They just don't call it competition. They call it just being honest with you. They call it just playing devil's advocate. They call it nothing at all, and it comes out sideways in the form of subtle undermining, quiet dismissal, or sudden disinterest in your success. Now I'll give you 3 ways it shows up. First, they minimize your wins. You share something you're proud of, and instead of simple acknowledgement, they find the angle that makes it smaller. Oh, that's great. Did you hear what so-and-so just did? Yeah, I almost did something like that a while back. Or nothing, just a brief cool and a change of subject. This is not accidental. Minimizing your win is the easiest way to close the gap without doing any work. If your achievement can be made to feel smaller, the distance between you shrinks and their nervous system settles, at least for a moment. They don't say, I want what you have. They say, I've been thinking about doing something similar. Right after you announce something, they suddenly develop the same interest, the same goal, the same plan, but frame it as their own independent idea. This is not imitation as flattery. This is reactive competition dressed up as coincidence. They cannot stand the idea of you being ahead, so they try to enter the same race and pretend they were already running. Third, and this one is the most subtle, they withdraw exactly when you need them most. You're about to do something big, and suddenly they're busy. Suddenly they're distant. Suddenly your messages go unanswered. You can't understand it because they were there before. But here's what is happening. When you were struggling, you were safe. When you were at their level, you were comfortable. But the moment you start rising, you become a threat. And instead of celebrating you, something in them contracts. Not because they're cruel, but because they haven't learned to celebrate someone else's growth without feeling diminished by it themselves. Here's the hardest part of all of this. None of these people will ever admit what they're doing, not because they're lying, but because they genuinely don't know they're doing it. Covert social comparison is largely unconscious. They are not sitting in a room plotting against you. They are sitting with a feeling they don't have a name for, a quiet anxiety, a restlessness every time your name comes up. And that feeling produces behavior they rationalize in 100 different ways. So you keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. You keep assuming good intentions, and every time something feels off, you question yourself instead of questioning the pattern. But the pattern is real, and the pattern is the answer. So what do you do with this information? First, stop making yourself smaller for their comfort. When someone minimizes your success, the instinct is to wonder if you shared too much, too enthusiastically, too soon. Stop. The problem is not your success. The problem is their relationship with their own. You do not shrink yourself to make someone else feel less left behind. Second, stop sharing every win with everyone. Not every good thing in your life needs to be shared with everyone who calls themselves your friend. The right people will celebrate you without needing you to make it smaller. Find those people. Protect your energy by being selective about who you let into your wins. Third, understand that this is about their pain, not your wrongdoing. The person who secretly competes with you is not evil. They are someone who measures their worth by comparison and hasn't found another way to feel okay about where they are. That does not excuse the behavior, but it does mean you don't have to take it personally. Their reaction to your growth says nothing about your worth. It says everything about their unresolved relationship with their own. You are not the problem. You never were. And that's the truth nobody taught you. If this made you see yourself differently, you're already ahead of most people. Subscribe because next week goes deeper. I'll see you there.